Good afternoon, University of Canberra. This is UCFM 87.8. You're joining us on the right track here. I've got my mate Brad. We're going to be talking about some pool and a fun little sport called carjacking a bit later on today. Just thought I'd introduce myself. This is a new show for me. Maggie Wright. I'm 20, studying teaching at the moment, but that's up for debate. You often see me floating around campus wearing my Rabbitohs gear, so if you ever see red and green flashes of running, that's usually me. So Brad, we're here to talk about pool today. How often have you been playing pool just recently?
So I started at the beginning of this year. I was playing with my brother. We hit up a few of the local pubs around Canberra, so Kingston and also the German Harmony Club I highly recommend. So it's been about 6 months now.
Yeah, beautiful. Right. So they're the best spots, you reckon?
I reckon so, yeah. It depends though. Like pool's one of those games you can either play by yourself and do it alone, or it can be very social. So, you know, if you want to go out socialising, maybe civic pub, somewhere where it's got lots of tables, but you can also get a table and put it at your house as well.
Yeah, I remember having a table growing up. I always had a bit of a go at it. Dad was teaching me how to play. Still no good at it though, unfortunately. My mates will always be out drinking. They're like, "Oh, do you want a game?" And I'll get my ass kicked. It's terrible. So do you beat your brother quite often, or is it a sibling rivalry?
Yeah, definitely a sibling rivalry. He's gotten pretty good. I think he's probably one of the best that I've seen so far. So I've got to get up to his level eventually. But I've got a comp coming up in the next couple of weeks. So yeah, there's definitely a lot out there in Canberra in terms of competitions. If you've got kids, there's also competitions for juniors as well. So you can head to the ACT Pool Association website to register. And you can also play in teams as well if you want to join with friends.
Yeah, wow. Okay, so this comp you've got set up, is it like a prize money kind of gig or?
No, so most people just do it to practice, meet new people, but you can win prize money. So there was one recently that was about $500, but you got a team of 4, you split it, so it's about half an hour's day of working money that you get really. But it's mostly just practice that people do it for.
I mean, $500 is better than a kick in the teeth, right?
Yeah, well, that's right.
Yeah, it sounds right to me. Yeah, so Kingston Pub, does it get very busy with the pool scene or?
It does, yeah, especially Wednesday, Tuesday, yeah, even on the weekends as well. But yeah, it depends though, like it's a great sport, as I said, if you love to be alone or you want to do your own thing, but on the other hand, it can be very social as well. So lots of talking, you might even see a cheeky politician in Kingston Hotel sometimes as well, after hard days of work in the office.
There you go. Sightseeing in Canberra. That's what you do. You see the politicians. I see there's always a mob of people hanging out at UC Bar shooting some pool. Yeah, so might have to see them mob and see what's going on.
Yeah. UC Pool Club.
Yeah, UC Pool Club. You heard it here first. We're sorting it out. We're getting there. So, do you know the difference between snooker and billiards?
No, to be honest. No, I know there's 4 types of pools. So
there's 4. Okay, all
roughly right. Roughly 4. There's probably more. Snooker is the big tables where you've got sort of the coloured balls and you sort of have to go from a red ball and then you have to choose a coloured ball. You've also got 8 ball, which is just the numbered ones from 1 to, I think it's 14. And then you've also got 9 ball, which is the same numbered balls, but you have to hit them in order from 1 to 9. So there's a few different variations. And the rules are pretty tricky to explain, but if there's one that you like, get in there, get involved, grab some mates and head down to the refectory to play some pool.
I feel like Miniclip 8 Ball Online did not prepare me for this chat today, unfortunately.
Look, I used to play that game too, and I don't think it was beneficial for me, but hey, if it works for you, then I reckon go for it.
Yeah, love a bit of procrastination in my uni schedule, as always. So you've said here that pool tables are very heavy, and I've tried to move one by myself. It's not an easy thing to do.
Absolutely. So I would say if you're planning to buy one, make sure you got a plan to get it back to your house. So they can weigh anywhere up from 100 kilos to 300 kilos. So you need a lot of hands. You also need a trailer. So you need to get it back to your house somehow. But yeah, make sure you get that planned ahead as well, and lots of space.
Yep. Yeah, of course. Especially enough elbow room to get the right swing going, I reckon, with your pool cue. One of the big questions I had was how do you know if a pool cue is good? Like I see there's fellas tapping it on the table and they're like nearly listening if the cue's ripe. So is there a way to tell that a cue is good, or is it like personal like preference?
Look, you got to be careful with pool cues because so many people use them. They splinter. So you hit the ball, it probably goes in the opposite direction. So you got to be careful with that. The other thing is check the top. So some of them are really flat. They don't actually have a bit of fluff at the end. It's just plastic. They're terrible. Don't use them.
Oh, so
my advice.
So that's what the chalk's for then?
That's right.
Right.
So what the chalk's for is it's actually to grip when you hit the ball. So it's to create friction. And it's crazy. Pool, you need to be so precise with your hitting. If you're off by a couple of millimeters, you lost the shot. And when you're versing people who are really good, who can sink 7 balls in a row, one shot's the big difference between losing the game.
Yeah, wow. I didn't actually know there was a bit of fluff on the end. I think I've just been playing with crap pool cues. Just a bit of plastic on the end.
We might have to get some funding at UC to get some new pool cues, I think.
Yeah, I haven't checked out the ones down at UC Bar, but or even the ones in that little place. It's got like a chocolate machine. I don't even know what that's called. Does anyone actually know what that's called? Brad, you got anything?
No idea.
Yep, it's. I've been there a couple of times. I mean, there's a great drink machine floating around there, so
That's always nice.
don't mind getting a little orange juice. Yeah. So Kingston's the place to be. Apparently, is that where the comp's happening?
No, so the competition happens at the Germany Harmony Club. I know that you can select your own club to play at, but most of them are just at the Germany Harmony Club. So they've got a lot of competitions there. You can go and watch for free. They've got a lot of people from ACT in Australia who play there as well. So head on down if you see anything pop up online.
Yeah, who knew the Germans are really good at pool?
Yeah, and great beer.
Yeah, always.
Great
always
beer.
a good beer. I mean, that's one of the hallmarks of pool. I mean, it's always when you've had a couple and your mates are like, oh, let's play some pool. I mean, I know I've found myself at Mooseheads. Not a pool shark at all, but I've definitely been done by the pool sharks floating around there.
Yep. And it's, a lot of people leave pool because they become alcoholics, apparently, which I only found out a couple of weeks ago. So there you go.
Leaving pool for,
Yep.
I mean, if that was a rule for my rugby league team, we'd be in trouble because we're out every other weekend. Yeah. I mean, yeah, there you go. So, any scandals in the pool world? Have you got anything to throw at me, Brad?
No scandals. There's a really good snooker player called Ronnie O'Sullivan. He's had a couple of rough games where he's exchanged a few words with people in the game, but in terms of scandals, there hasn't been much. I did see this one video the other day. There was this men's international competition, and there was a guy from Nepal, and he committed a foul. So the game got wiped, and he started arguing with the referee. He started arguing with the crowd. Everyone was up in arms about it. They took the video. They had a look at it. It took an hour, and he ended up losing the game.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So everyone thinks the bunker's bad for taking a little while.
I think he nearly got kicked out.
Yeah, wow. I wonder what words you'd have to say to some people in the pool community to get kicked out of somewhere.
Yeah, and to get the referee involved is pretty unlikely, so it must have been bad.
Yeah. Here you go. So just to backtrack a little bit, what's a foul in pool? Like, is it like knocking into your mate or like picking up one of the balls and throwing it across the room? Because, I mean, both have happened.
So you probably see a lot in clubs where people go to hit the ball and it flies off the table. So that's a foul. So the ball's left the table. So usually the ball comes back onto the table and then you usually get a free shot. The other way you can commit a foul is if you hit the opponent's ball before your ball. That's also a foul. And then also if you sink the white ball as well.
Yeah, right. So a foul's usually 2 shots to the other player, is that right? Or 2...
Yeah, so in some of the games, so I know that in 8-ball, it's 2 shots. And then in some games, it's just ball in hand wherever on the table. So there's, again, those slight variations in the game.
Yeah, because I know there's some people who are like, it must be behind the line and you have to shoot forward. And
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yep.
It just depends where you're playing, I suppose. A bit like
Yeah.
The rules change wherever you go.
That's true. Yep.
Unless you're playing the big leagues.
I ask beforehand, you get it all out of the way. There's no arguments during the game.
That's fair. So is there like a contract or something you have to sign before the competition? Like you have to follow A, B and C rules or?
No, in the competitions there are, but and outside of that, no, not at all.
There you go. I think I might have to write up my own pool contract whenever I play. I must win. back here with Brad, and we had a bit of a chat off mic about Monopoly Deal after talking about Uno. So I actually have never played Monopoly Deal, which might be a deal breaker for some listeners out there. But Brad, apparently you have quite a lot to say.
Look, it's a relationship breaking game, unfortunately. They've taken the whole board and they've basically put it into a card game. So you can steal houses, you can take people's entire set of houses. It's catastrophic.
You can steal houses.
You can steal someone's entire set of houses. So you might have 2 or 3 different sets and you're just about to win the game. Someone will take it, you're done.
Look, I kind of want to play, but I feel like if I bring it out, especially with my roommates, we'll have issues.
I might have to bring a set in. We'll have a game.
Yeah. Do you need to purchase a mediator with it? Like have a lawyer and retainer just in case?
Look, it's probably a good option, but it depends who you're playing with. I know my sister's very competitive with Monopoly Deal, and another friend of mine, he's very competitive as well. But if you play it right, you play your cards right, you can make some good wins.
Yeah, we're counted as a sport over here. Apparently makes you sweat. Gets you in a bit of a tiff. Gets you a bit worked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't get over the whole stealing houses bit. That's nuts. I mean, I'm very protective over my properties when I play usual Monopoly. So I might have to bring it into the UC agents area. Yeah, just for those listening, Brad and I are UC agents with the Aspire team. Wonderful little mob of people. Go out and help schools out and bring them around campus and show them how good University of Canberra is, which, I mean, I think it's great.
It's a fantastic job, and we work with a really great bunch of people, and they do some tremendous work.
Yeah, so I think if we brought that in, it might sever some ties. Don't think that'd really be what we're looking for. Yeah, so Monopoly Deal, do you still have money, or is that not a thing?
You do have money. I think they're in card form, and then you also have your sort of community chests and stuff as well. So I think a set of cards is about $10. I recommend it. It's a great game, but just buy with caution.
Yeah, make sure that you're in a stable relationship or that you're still very friendly with people afterwards.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, wonderful. Is there any other card games you like playing, Brad?
No, not really. I used to really like Yahtzee. Not a card game, but a fantastic game nonetheless.
Yeah, I'm on that.
But I lost my dice.
Lost the dice?
I lost the dice. I don't know how I did it. And my scorecards are all filled out, so I'm going to have to go for a shop somewhere and try to find an extra set, I think.
I was about to say, there's a billion places in Canberra that sell dice. You can get ones shaped like cheese these days. Have you seen them?
No, that sounds great though.
But there's all sorts of ones. I think I've seen like a T-Rex themed pair of dice.
Really?
I'm sure all the D&D players out there are like, oh my god.
Yep.
Look at my dice collection.
I wonder if they've got any for sale at the games, UCX?
Maybe, I don't know. I know they're a good mob of people though. They hang out and play some good games. Very competitive, but so am I. Look, honestly. Okay,
You got a favourite card game, Maggie?
Oh, there's this one called Spit that I played all the time growing up. It's a bit of an off-brand kind of thing, but I've been really vibing with just plain old solitaire just recently.
Oh, yes. I saw Minefield.
Minesweeper?
Yeah, Minesweeper. Do you remember that? Oh,
yep.
That was a good game.
Good computer game. This is the part of the show where we get to a bit of unhinged sports. Today, we're going to be talking about Jujitsu, which Brad seems to be a bit of an expert in. Would you like to explain the basics of Jujitsu?
So I was scrolling through Instagram the other day and I saw these 2 guys wrestling in a car and I thought, what is going on here? And it turns out it's a sport. It's called Jujitsu and they call it professional carjacking. It's increasingly popular in Russia in case you're trying to escape the police who will literally run through your window. Jujitsu teaches people how to fight while inside a car.
This is giving GTA. Like, I don't know.
Absolutely.
I don't know. You definitely wouldn't be able to in the game, but that's kind of the vibe. So, are they seat belted in? How are they fighting like a jiu-jitsu style in the car?
So it operates under the same rules as Jiu-Jitsu, but allows the use of the car's interior to force opponents into submission. So means you can throw the seat back to change the environment. You can even use the seatbelt to choke an opponent out.
I feel like I'd be ripping the car headrest off. I don't know about anyone else. That'd be my first go-to. Not a violent person, but that'd be my first go-to.
If it's a win, you got to do it in the game, I think.
That's it. I feel like it'd be very uncomfortable, especially in my little Kia Rio. It'd be very squished. Do they use like a standard size car that you know of?
Yep. So practice in any type of car, sedan, sports car, even the family minivan. So you might have to jump in the back of mum's car. Bob's your uncle.
There you go. Yeah, I couldn't imagine doing it in that. Maybe one of those shaggin' wagons, the long ones. I reckon that'd be okay to do a bit of car jitsu in.
Yep.
There you go. Can't see a UC club being made around car jiu-jitsu. I just don't think it's popular enough in Australia just as of yet.
No, I don't think so. But who knows? Maybe it might become popular soon.
I wonder what the like masters of car jitsu are called.
Yeah.
Like if are they masters or are they
Is it a
like
black
sensei
belt?
or is it a black belt? Like what kind of, do you get the seat belt and then you're like the master of car jitsu?
How do you win money?
I don't know. Do you reckon you would?
Yeah, surely.
Surely. I just can't. I mean, I've had several fights with my sister in a car. Not violent fights, just verbal ones that mum always yells, "I'm gonna turn this car around."
Yeah, you might have to start training, Maggie.
Yeah, maybe. I'm going to have to find a Kajitsu training partner out there. Yeah. So practical exercises take place in cars. That's nuts. Imagine just like fly kicking through the window and that's how you start. Or do you have to start seat belted? What's the go?
No, so you start seat belted and there's a timer, and then when the timer starts, you take your seatbelt off and then you go for gold.
There you go. So you just have to sit in your car for a bit practicing your seatbelt and like maybe putting a bit of honey in there, practicing with a sticky one.
Yeah, maybe. You might even have to jump in the back even. You can start in the back as well from what I've heard.
There you go. So you have to find out what the best strategy is.
Yeah.
It's all about strategy.
It is. But the thing is, how practical is it? Maybe someone left their car to attack you. You're hoping that they'll go away at some point, but they don't, It suddenly opens up your car door and attacks you. How do you react?
There you go. So this is like a self-defense kind of thing.
Yeah, it could be.
There you go. I reckon that could be added to self-defense things.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you've got the boxing segment, you've got your kickboxing segment, you've got your miscongeniality moves going, and then you get the Kajitsu segment going.
We might have to start a club up in UC.
I'm going to have to learn how to do
car
it first.
Jiu-Jitsu.
Car Jiu-Jitsu. Whose car would we use? Because I feel like mine would just get destroyed. It's too old.
Yeah, that's true. We might have to think about that one.
And like, would the interior make a difference? Like leather seats or like plain like plush seats? Imagine if you had those like fluffy seat covers.
Yeah, like the ones you get from Kmart.
Yeah, you'd end up just zapping the other person when you touch them. You got so much static going. There you go. Yeah, so funny little self-defense sport that's been floating around, Kajitsu. To finish off our show today, we're going to be talking about another extreme sport, an extremely interesting sport, you could say, extreme ironing, also known as EI apparently. It's that popular, floating around. Brad, you want to take us away?
Well, this is an interesting sport. Apparently, there is a sport where you take ironing boards to remote locations and iron items of clothing. And according to the Extreme Ironing Bureau, extreme ironing is the latest dangerous sport that combines the thrills of an extreme outdoor activity with the satisfaction of a well-pressed shirt.
An extreme sport. I feel like, yeah, wow. So they go to remote locations. I didn't know that. I thought it was like your mum's lounge room and you've got two set up and you're like, I'm going to iron better than you.
Where would you go, Maggie?
Probably my mum's lounge room. Or had a bit of an idea while reading this part of the segment. I reckon Hamish and Andy, you know how they used to do those really unhinged, weird, like wheelie bin racing sports? I reckon you could have them outside of a Kmart, send them in, they have to unpack an ironing board and iron a shirt randomly off the rack. I reckon that'd be a go.
That'd be fantastic.
Do you reckon they'd be up for it? I feel like they would. That'd be fun. Extreme ironing.
But what about if you're ironing, what are some other sports that you could do while you're ironing? Could you go skydiving and iron?
Does calling my auntie count? I mean, that's a sport to pretend I'm actually interested sometimes, I reckon.
Or water skiing.
Water skiing
What if
while
you're water
ironing?
skiing and ironing?
Is that a thing or is that just...
Well, what if we could make it a thing?
I don't even know where you get the electricity from, to be honest with you.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be an odd one. I have seen barefoot skiing though. Have you heard of that?
No.
Yeah, so people who think it's fun to ski without skis will just grab onto the rope and just barefoot. You will literally drop your ski and just go barefoot on the water.
There you go.
Yep. And you can barefoot with your teeth. So like,
Really?
Yeah, you're barefoot and then you've got the rope and there's like a special thing you can get on the end of your rope and you can clamp down on it with your teeth.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, that's new.
Yeah, my dad had one of those. I had a very interesting childhood, to say the least.
You didn't do that, did you?
No, God, no.
Oh.
I couldn't even barefoot. I was just that young.
Got to keep the pearly whites.
That's it. Oath. So much money on braces.
And if you are extreme ironing, is there a world championships? How do you win?
There should be.
Like, is it the most remote location?
Oh, would it be like the quickest ironing?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Or the highest peak?
Oh.
Mm.
Imagine Kilimanjaro, people just ironing like crazy.
Track to the top of Everest just to get a shirt done.
I'm about to say, it's nearly hot enough up on Kilimanjaro, something just to hold her up and it'll just iron itself.
Yeah.
I think you'd have a frozen shirt if you did it on Everest.
And apparently it's a British-born sport.
British-born.
So, it's a combination of physical strength, mental strength and humour.
That's it. So when people say that housewives do nothing, they are really not listening to things like extreme ironing.
Yes, that's true.
Like, what a sport. What a sport. And women do it on the daily. Like, go them.
We should get some extreme ironing, Maggie. We'll go somewhere, remote location, and we'll film a segment of extreme ironing.
You reckon? What remote location do you reckon we'd go?
Ooh, that's a tough choice. I wonder if there's anywhere nice in the Blue Mountains.
Maybe, I reckon. There might be a nice place in Canberra.
Yeah, that's true. Top of Telstra Tower.
I think. Well, I mean, they've closed it, so I don't know if they'd let us up anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
I think I know why they've picked remote locations. Because I think if anyone saw someone ironing frantically on the side of the road while they were driving past, there'd be a couple of calls to the authorities. Maybe that's why they've picked remote locations. I don't know. That's beyond me, to be honest with you. I just can't believe that there's an extreme ironing bureau. Like, it's that big enough to have an authority.
A bureau.
Yeah.
Someone who gets paid to regulate the game.
Like, that's insane to me.
Crazy.
Do they have like a million Qantas points? They just fly around all the time to remote locations.
Yeah, free Qantas points, and you can go to any country you want. Would be good.
I mean, yeah, if that was like one of the perks of working for the bureau, like it's a thing. I'd sign up. I mean, it's better than the kick in the teeth, right?
What a good job.
I know. Extreme ironing bureau. That might have to be on the bucket list at some point.
Yeah,
might have to write into them, see if they say anything back. Anyway, just finishing off for today, I'd like to thank Brad for coming and hanging out with us today. Is there anything you'd like to say?
No, that's it, Maggie. Thanks for having me.
Brilliant. No worries, mate.